I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Infinity Countdown issue number 2. What other heroes and villains will be dragged into the quest for the Infinity Stones? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. So, continuing on with the Guardians of the Galaxy story from the previous issue, because, well, so far that's what this series has been, just an end to Duggan's Guardians run. They had managed to free the Gardener from Loki's corrupting toxins, but now that that's done, they still have to escape the planet, which is a little difficult when they have giant Groot monsters chasing after them. Now, back with Drax the Destroyer, he and the Nova Corps are still trying to push back the Chitauri as well as the fraternity of Raptors who are attempting to steal the Power Stone. It also just so happens to be around this time that the pregnant Nova we've been seeing ends up giving birth because, well, when you're pregnant, that's usually what happens. FYI, Drax was totally ready for a fight. He was not prepared for the miracle of birth, though. Luckily, the cavalry arrives right on time. The Guardians team is there, and they try to end the conflict by scaring everyone away by using their Galactus costume. A pretty good idea that ultimately crashes and burns. I mean, you didn't think we were gonna get out of this situation without a fight, did ya? Everyone picks their dance partner, including Richard Rider, who does battle with Talon R, only it's right here in a moment pulled right out of Star Wars. It's revealed, dun dun dun, Talon R is actually Robbie Rider, Rick's brother. What? Ryder's bro is all ticked off about being trapped in the Cancerverse and as such vows to destroy his brother and all the other heroes as revenge. Now, as we've seen all throughout this series, the Power Stone is giant for some reason. This makes defending it quite difficult. If only they could shrink it down to regular size, if only they had someone who could do that, say, oh, I don't know, like Scott Lang Ant-Man. Only, unfortunately for our heroes, they discover all too late that even the mighty Pym particles are no match for whatever these Infinity Stones are made out of now, and shrinking is out of the question. Now, in a very sweet scene, Gamora breaks away from the heat of battle to help the Nova Woman give birth to her baby. This moment actually ends up turning a little bittersweet as Gamora recalls that her own parents were murdered before she was born, and she was raised by the abuse of Thanos. Ouch, way to bring it down. And hey, speaking of cosmic movers and shakers, from there we see what Adam Warlock has been up to since Kang sealed him away in a tomb so he could wake up in modern day and help save the day. You'll recall Warlock isn't 100% sure who's going to bring about the Infinity Apocalypse and destroy all of time and space, but if he had to put money on it, he would probably guess his evil double the Magus is behind it. Only when Warlock goes to seek out the Magus, he realizes that he's all too late. The planet that his double was on has been destroyed, its life form's been assimilated and turned into Ultron droids, and that even the Magus himself is dead by Pymtron's hand. Warlock heroically fights his way past the Ultron drones, but is eventually brought kicking and screaming to the feet of Pymtron, who is in the middle of a little bit of, let's call it DIY work. He's jamming a bunch of robot parts into Norrin Rad in an attempt to turn the Silver Surfer into a freaking Ultron bot himself. He then very creepily tells Adam Warlock to wait his turn and that he'll be with him in just a second. Ugh, guy makes my skin crawl. So that was Infinity Countdown issue 2, everybody, and much like the previous issue, 80% of this story is just Duggan wrapping up his Guardians of the Galaxy run and explaining what happened to the Power Stone. That's important stuff, don't get me wrong. But if you're like me and you weren't reading Duggan's Guardians of the Galaxy run previous to this, a lot of these big reveals and character moments are probably going to fall a little flat for you. And all the other important stuff that actually goes into building the next major event, Infinity Wars, only happens in the last couple of pages. They are a cool couple of pages, don't get me wrong, but is this comic really worth you paying full price for if it's only what's at the end that you want to see? Ultimately, I did enjoy Infinity Countdown number 2, I just feel like I could have enjoyed it so much more if the circumstances were different. Overall, I'd give it a 7.5 though. So that was Infinity Countdown, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, be sure to take a closer look at some of these other videos I've been working on. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you really like what I do and are feeling in a particularly supportive mood, please check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. That's only $12 a year, and it would be much appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.